Hello, YouTubers. Today's topic is Bioshock. I'm honestly biased against FPS games, so my review will be biased. I feel it's important to make that bias known so people don't get the wrong idea. I'm certain that people who love FPS games will have much stronger feelings for this game than I do. Now, to reintroduce Bioshock is set in a dystopian past where an anarchist colony called the Rapture is founded underwater as a means to bring advancement to mankind, and to escape the shackles of the contemporary morality. This leads to the discovery of Adam, a substance that lets the inhabitants pretty much make silly putty out of the human genome, resulting in a whole lot of controlled mutations, and most notable of which are plasmids, which give people special abilities. Now we've established the setting, we can talk about gameplay elements. The game, like most FPS games, has an assortment of weapons, which progressively increase the further you are in the game. The thing that sets it apart is the introduction of plasmids, which make magic powers by allowing the player to do things like spontaneously combust things, electrocute things, or even create a handy distraction. It even has role-playing type elements in the form of uses of Adam to increase player stats and powers, simulating something of a level-up system. Enemies also constantly get stronger as the levels progress, keeping the game challenging. As compensation, the game has a built-in restoration system called Vita Chambers, allowing you to die as many times as you want. But this may not be favorable to those craving a hardcore experience. The main criticisms of the game is linear to a fault. There is only one way forward, and side quests are completely non-existent. There are a few benefits of going out of your way to explore the environment. Extra ammo will be used getting to these places, making the ammo rewards worthless. Plasmids and power-ups can be found along the way path, just as often, if not more so, not to mention the ones you flat out buy, making these only minor collectibles. Which makes the recordings you can sometimes find out of the way the best rewards possible. But it isn't really worth going out of your way to get the recordings. The story is also pretty straightforward. Your plane crashed, and you discovered the entrance to the Rapture. On entry, a man named Atlas asks for your help, and you really got no other choice since the inhabitants raptured the Splicers, pretty much all trying to kill you. The story also develops continuously throughout the stages, leaving mostly gaps only if you perform free-form exploration. But since free-form exploration isn't very lucrative, it can be skipped entirely. But for Bioshock's simplicity, it's also a very engaging story. The method in which it is told is largely through recordings and narration. The recordings build up the lore in an easy-to-consume way so everybody can enjoy it without feeling like they are wasting your time. If you compare this to games like Elder Scrolls, where the lore is pretty much just an out-of-the-way book that must be read, most people will simply ignore it. The narration, for the most part, happens at pivotal junctures, doesn't stop the action, and keeps the player knowing what their objectives are, leaving for a smooth and satisfying experience. Probably the only thing that players really can exhibit a choice upon is a moral one. Pursuit of Adam, which is required to advance the character, you are forced with a simple choice. To harvest Little Sisters, which will grant more Adam, or to rescue Little Sisters, which will grant less Adam. This choice will determine which of the two endings the player will receive. Since Adam is the basis for all character improvements, ignoring the Little Sisters really is not an option, since the player will be quickly overwhelmed in the later stages of the game. Unfortunately, other than this ending, the moral choice does not matter. If you engage with all of the Little Sisters, you will get more than enough Adam to improve your character almost to its limits, with no other consequences being available. Overall, I'd say the story is well done and engaging, but I do question the limited choices to only rescuing or harvesting the Little Sisters. Little choices are valid without any penalty, making it completely arbitrary. I would have preferred the harvesting Little Systems gave more Adam but made the game more difficult. The rescuing Little Sisters gave significantly less Adam but left the game in its default setting. This would have made the choice more impactful. As far as the FPS components go, the introduction of the plasma system is not the only thing I can really comment on. As FPS are not games I generally play or enjoy, I cannot say much other than I had trouble playing on the Xbox 360 controller. I'm much more suited to playing this type of game on a keyboard and mouse. The fact I enjoyed this game despite that shows that it is a worthwhile game. And it is available on PC, so if you're like me and are better at such games with keyboard and mouse, you can play them on keyboard and mouse. Overall, I think I'd like to score this game at a 7 out of 10. Keep in mind, I'm trying to rate games as compared to other games. Most games should fall between the 4 and 6 range, which would be average. This game, outside the range of 7, makes this game above average to excellent. I highly recommend it for any person that enjoys FPS titles, and moderately recommend it to those that just want to try an FPS that is known to be good. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe.